Hey there, welcome to Coffee with Chris. It's time to rise and grind. This week, I'm going to answer a couple questions from first-time home buyers. And our first question comes in from Claire. Thank you, Claire, for the email. It says, how much do you charge for your services? Well, Claire, I'm going to go through the process and help answer that question in a bit of detail. So, we, all agents, there's not a standard fee. We negotiate our commissions. Some will, some won't, whatever, but there's no standard rate. Oftentimes the sellers pay the commission, but not always the entire commission. So I'm going to back up. You decide you want to work with a certain agent, and that agent should do a buyer consultation. So you sit down, you go through being educated about the buying process, what's expected of you, what your rights are. Virginia is a buyer beware state, or caveat emptor. So there are a lot of responsibilities that fall on you as the buyer in Virginia. So you're going to get all that education from that agent, and then at the end, you're going to sign a buyer broker. And a buyer broker agreement is an exclusive agreement between you and that agent to work with them for a term or a period of time, and that states that that agent will receive a certain amount of money from your purchase. So here's an example. Let's say it said 3% of the sales price is in your buyer broker agreement. So you hit the road with this great agent, and there are two homes for you to see. One is one you found on Zillow or on their website, and the other one is a for sale by owner. So she or he, your agent, goes to show you that property. While you're there, you really need to be informed by that agent, your agent, as to what the seller is willing to pay the agent. So this is why it's critical that you ask these questions. You're out, you find this gorgeous house. The first house is beautiful. And the agent says, oh, yes, we can write that contract up. And you ask, what's the commission that the seller's paying? And she says 2%. Well, if you have a buyer broker agreement that says they will receive 3%, you are on the hook for that additional 1%. Now, whether or not that agent will work with you on that, I can't answer. It depends on each individual agent and or their company. So that's a question you need to be asking. The second house you go to is a for sale by owner. So some for sale by owners, FSBOs, will agree to pay a buyer's agent commission, but it may be 3%, it may be 1%. They may not be willing to pay it at all. So it is critical that you ask your agent, what is the seller paying for your commission? You need to have those answers from your agent. That's really critical. So basically, I charge, I work with my clients. So I charge a 3% commission as a buyer's agent. Typically the seller pays that. If the seller is offering something less that is reasonable, then I'm willing to adjust that. So I think that answers your question. Now we have another question from another buyer. This is Jason. Thanks for the email, Jason. So Jason wants to know, how do I make sure I'm not overpaying when I purchase? That's a good question, Jason. So when you find that house, your agent should go back and before drafting the offer, do a comparative market analysis. A comparative market analysis is a summary of sales activity in that area or that neighborhood over the last 6 months to a year. We like to use numbers that are more current, so 6 months or less would be preferable. That's going to give us a very good idea as to whether or not the house is at, above, or below market. Don't accept your agents telling you it's fine. You need to see that data. When you buy a house, it is the biggest transaction of your life. Don't let someone else make a critical decision that you need to make. It's imperative that you look at those comps and that you ask questions of the agent. Ask them, do you think this is a fair price? Do you think this is at market? Can we go lower? Your agent should be seasoned and able to give you the answers that put you at peace and make you feel good about moving forward. I always believe if you're not comfortable, trust that gut instinct. If something is telling you no, seriously trust that instinct. So I'm hoping, Jason, that this helped to answer your question. Your agent should do a comparative market analysis, show you what those comps are and the sales prices for the square footages and all that good stuff. And then you can make an informed decision. Okay, this is Chris Faircloth, Agent Faircloth at James and Lee Realty. We are licensed to sell Hampton Roads. We'd love to help you, but if you're working with an agent, I wish you all the best with your purchase or your sale. Have a great day. Thank you.